formula to it. A very simple formula.
Hey, what is going on? Welcome to the Sasha Podcast. My name is Jared, and well, yep, this is the Sasha Podcast. So this is a very, very special podcast episode. One of the very, very, very interesting ones, in my opinion. It's been an insane week and a half. If you didn't know, if you haven't read my Twitter, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should, at @horror, HORROR. I don't know how to say words sometimes. Yeah, you should follow me there, because I have been working on a horror movie set for the last 9 days. I am home now, so I can actually record this. But yes, I've been working on a horror movie set for the last weekish and a half. I don't want to spoil too much, so I will not be spoiling anything, as much as humanly possible about the movie. I'm not going to be spoiling anything in the script, obviously, but just kind of just some scenes that I helped work that without spoiling anything that actually happens in the movie. Until it comes out and you watch it, and then I will spoil it for you and talk more in depth then when it's out. Just as kind of I don't know, it'll be interesting. But anyways, so yeah, so just to jump in, so I was a PA for the most of the time. If you don't know what PA is, that's a production assistant. I cleaned up blood off the ground. I moved cars. I got coffee. I did whatever I needed to do just to be on set and help wherever possibly could. Something I realized after the last 9 days is that how much work there is behind the scenes that isn't that isn't director. There's so much work that goes into special effects and lighting and all those kinds of things that I didn't really think about before I actually helped working on it. Because it's when you watch a Halloween movie, you don't really think about the fact that there's 60 people behind the camera making everything look just right. There's all the set decorators to make the movie look how it's supposed to look. The sets to look how it's look. There's all the lighting. There's all the director of cinematography and all those things. Photography, I guess. You don't really think about it. There's just so much there. And geez, there's a lot of work that went into this. And if anybody who worked on this movie is listening to this, everybody did an amazing job, an incredible job. And if we go back and shoot it more, if I'm able to come, I am more than willing. And if I'm able to come, I will be there in the second I can possibly be there. And well, it was one of the memory-wise, that's going to be a memory that I remember for the rest of my life. Just all of it. There's something so special about everything that happened, and I'll kind of be talking a little bit more in depth in a minute. But just honestly, I can't believe that it's over now. It felt like camp in a lot of ways. One of my favorite parts about that movie was just, from working on the movie, was just how everybody got along, and I didn't feel any tension on set. I didn't feel anything. Everybody got along. Everybody was there to have a conversation with you, to have a conversation, to make you laugh, to talk and get to know. I made a bunch of friends because we just talked to each other for hours. And we all stayed at it definitely helped too that we all stayed at the same hotel. And so we kind of got some stuff there. I'm also not going to say where we were shooting, but we were shooting far away from my home. And so it was weird going away and shooting on a film set far away from my home, because it felt very professional, and I felt like I wasn't to that point yet. But it was fun, and it felt like summer camp in a lot of ways, but a much cooler summer camp than any summer camp I've ever been to, because you don't get to make a horror movie at a summer camp. I mean, you can, but not typically. Typically, you shoot bows and arrows and go kayaking and shit. I mean, I guess you do that too in Friday the 13th, but that's not what I meant. Oh my god. But it was one of the greatest like memories of my life. I think like I'm gonna look back just to these events so fondly, and just I'm very, very, very just happy and excited and glad that I was able to work on this movie, and that I think what we've shot so far is incredible. And I personally, as a horror movie fan, not even as like a not even as somebody who worked on it, who's like, oh, I'm chalking it up to be better than it is, blah 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 blah, like some people do. Jamie Lee Curtis. Um, um, but I feel like there's something so, first off, terrifying about this movie, and needed for the time. You'll know what I mean when you watch it. Needed for the time that it's being shot in, and not only that, well written, and it makes sense, kind of the surrounding events and what the villain is doing all makes sense in universe. So I'm gonna let's just actually dive into this now. So the name of this movie is The Bludgeoning. That is what it's called now. I don't believe that will be the name of the film as it goes forward, but that is the name of the movie as we know now. I'm trying to figure out how much I can say and how much I can't, because I don't want to spoil anything for it, because I love this script so much, and I don't want to spoil any of it. Let me actually, give me a second here. I'm going to look up the name and the Indiegogo so I can see how much they actually... There it is. Okay, so now I can see how much they actually talked about on their Indiegogo, so I can know how much to discuss. So let's just I'm gonna kind of read over their Indiegogo, and you can kind of understand exactly what I was actually doing, and what it actually is generally. Okay, so they describe it as The Bludgeoning it's a mixture between Clerks, Halloween, Death Proof, The Cabin in the Woods, and Tucker and Dale, Us. Something kind of like that. Closer to Cabin in the Woods, they say, rather than Tucker and Dale, but still sort of Tucker and Dale. So here's the synopsis, and I'll know how much I can talk about once we get there. Michael and Jennifer are visiting family in Salem, Massachusetts, eager to relax on long summer drives and lose themselves in weed-fueled discussions about your favorite story canon. During one afternoon trip to a local store, a confrontation with locals sets off a chain of events that will change their lives forever. Now hunted by a menacing, wrench-wielding figure hell-bent on reliving the city's historic executions, the group must seek help from others in town to survive the evening and avoid becoming a new chapter to the area's infamous legacy. They must escape the bludgeoning. And so yes, so they did mention where we were filming. We were filming in Salem, like actually on location. I got to meet and come around Salem, which was really cool. I've never been to Salem before. So if you didn't know, so yeah, it's set in Salem. There's witch trials, just the historic executions of Salem. Well, so yeah, so that's kind of the whole thing. It's very scary. This whole movie is terrifying, and I personally found it to be absolutely just terrifying. So one of the things that you gotta understand is there were many people. Okay, so which is really cool to me. Many people who work on this are just internet creators who met each other on the internet and just started working together. Some people, some of them obviously knew each other in other ways, but a lot of them met on the internet and are creating a movie together, like an actual movie with just a script and cinematographers and directors of photography and shit. And I think that is so cool how much the internet can truly change your life if you use it the way that it's designed. I mean, it's designed for people like you and me to be able to create something like this that we love and adore and want to be in more than anything. There's something so important about the way that the internet works, and like they all have podcasts. I mean, there's so many podcasts that these people have that is like so hard to even like. There's like countless. There's like close. I think we counted it up. It's close to like 14 or 15 podcasts were all represented, just in that one place, and that is so cool. And a lot of them met each other on those podcasts, which I think is incredible. Like that is so cool. And well, there's something so amazing about that it's kind of hard to really put into words correctly. So the people who made it, if you have not seen anything or listened to any of their podcasts, Film Rescue, it's maybe the Montresor Media. You go. It's at Montresor Media on Twitter, TikTok, Discord, Instagram. Go find them. Then you'll know more about kind of what they're actually trying to do and what they're doing with their whole, their whole thing, basically. And so okay, so let's talk about one thing. So this is in the cast. If there's something so cool about just everything to do with this movie. So if you haven't seen, so I'm just gonna talk about some of the people, like some of the IMDb credits for some of the people who worked on the movie. Going down the list in the cast is Tynus. I do not know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to try. Go look at the Indiegogo and find it. He, in a short, he was in The Method in a short. He was also in The Pizzagate Massacre, which is a really good movie if you've never seen it. That is a great movie with an amazing poster. If you've never seen the poster to that movie, oh my god, it is such a great movie. That's just me, but maybe that it's a great movie that deserves a lot more than it got. It's very well written and incredibly smart. It's so hard to, it's really good. And if you've never seen it, please do go see it. It's really good. It's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying this now. Naomi, the next one down. She was a writer, 9 episodes of a TV show. She's also starred in a lot of things. Let me see. Second unit director, additional crew. So they have a lot of credits. Let's see. Let's move down here. Rachel. They were in a movie in The Devil's Restaurant, it's called. And Star Trek 420. Burrow on the Edge of Forever, 2014. That seems amazing. They also have a movie podcast. I believe it's about movies, if I'm remembering correctly. This is just kind of me talking about, just kind of generally about what this whole thing's about. Just so you kind of get kind of a sense of the cast and just how big the amount of cast was. Will DeVokis, I believe. I messed that up, but I don't. I tried. This he did a lot of special effects credits. Director, producer. He did producing. There's so much here. They did podcast. Scare Me podcast, Social Media Killed the Supervillain, Macabre Medicine, 2009. Jeez. Sorry. Movie Night with Will DeVokis, TV series creator, 2020. Yeah. That's Will. I've never seen anything by him, but I'm interested because he's really funny. Denise was Crew 2021 and The Bludgeoning. So this is her first movie. And then Michael Spielman. Again, don't blame me for how bad I am messing up these names, okay? I only spent 9 days with these people. I mean, done a bunch of shorts. Wants to be a voice actor. If you want to hire him to be a voice actor, do that. Go follow him on Twitter and be a voice actor for him, or hire him to be a voice actor. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but I am not looking at the Indiegogo right now. But whoever I'm missing, Jimmy. I do not know Jimmy's last name. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Jimmy, really incredibly funny on set, incredibly funny in the film, and his parts are amazing. I love his sense of humor. So let's just move on, kind of what I did on set, and kind of some things that you can expect from me. First day of shooting with a specific scene shot. I'm trying to be as little as possible so that way it's not very obvious completely. So one of my favorite parts about this movie is how scared I was just as the shooting was happening. Like, there were times where people were on screen and I would just get terrified of, like, there's something so scary about the characters in this movie, and it's an amazing thing. Well, basically what I did was I helped, I reset scenes a lot of the time, especially if there's anything to do with special effects. I helped reset the scene, because there was some scenes that had some moving parts where things needed to be moved or whatever, and they needed to be from point A and they needed to end at point B. My job was to bring it back to point A for another take. That was what I did some nights. Other nights, I helped to go get things people needed. Mostly I was there for moral support sometimes because driving is fun for me. But I still did it. I was still there. I still helped because I'm good with being on point and helping people do what they are supposed to be doing. That's not really related, but I did that. So one of my favorite things I did, and I'll be talking about this for a little while, is I helped create the gore effects for pretty much the second night on, and actually create the latex, some of the latex masks and stuff. I helped a little bit. Most credit does not go to me at all, but I was just there and I did what I was supposed to do, and I helped. I helped pump blood when I needed blood needed to be pumped. I was kind of there to help where I was needed, pretty much with special effects stuff. I helped make fake blood, which is really cool, and the blood we used looks incredibly real, and I love it so much. It was really cool. Don't even get me started on how cool the fake blood looked. We used fake hands that we cast to look real, and we did stuff with those hands and other parts of bodies and stuff, so I don't want to go too much into that to, again, save the spoils for you guys. But there was something so incredibly fun about just creating all the special effects stuff, and also we got to... So now I know how to make fake blood, and then the second I learned how to do it, I was like, okay, what can I do at home that I can use fake blood in, because this is really cool looking, and what can I do? And I'm incredibly excited because I have a little idea for a little movie I can make, and I'll probably be posting it on this channel if I think it's good enough for that. But I'm incredibly excited for that, and also just being around creative people like that for 9 days at a time, it really just gets your creative juices flowing, which I thought was really incredibly fun. There's just something so incredibly good about and cool about just all of that I was just really incredibly excited about. And now that I'm here, it's like I just wanna make as much stuff as possible. And on my other channels, I have a documentary that I'm working on, which is gonna be cool, I think. Um, I have a bunch of other ideas for videos on this channel, videos on other channels, and I'm just so excited for them that I don't even know how to like put it into words. I'm so excited for everything, and it all because I was just grounded with a bunch of really creative people. Like just we had all had a plan in what we were doing creatively, and that was just so cool. I don't know. I loved it more than more than I think like I was fully expecting to. At first I thought I was gonna be too nervous to really go and work on a movie set like that. If you have a like a vibe, you want to do this, you want to make a movie. First off, all I can tell you is go make a movie. Just go make a fucking movie. You can do it yourself. Just go make one, write it, and go shoot it. Don't worry about having to like. I guess I'm saying don't worry too much about your lack of equipment. You don't need a $12,000 camera to go shoot a movie. You just need a idea and an iPhone or a Samsung, and we all have iPhones and Samsungs and phones, Android phones, whatever phone you have. You all have it in your pocket. You can do it yourself. We have iMovie. You have Windows Movie Maker. Go make a movie. You can do it. Write a movie. Make a movie. And that's my advice. Go make a movie. Just go do it. And if you don't have a lot of people, write a movie. You only need one character. You can do that. It seems hard, but you can do it. Write a movie. Make a movie. And you'll know if it's for you or not, just based on how much you enjoy it. And one thing you really need to know, there's something so incredibly fulfilling about working. We worked, when our call times between like 5 and 7 p.m. sometimes to like getting out at like 5 or 6, sometimes like 4 or 5 in the morning. Probably around then is probably better. Probably around closer to 4 or 5 in the morning. 4 or 5, not 4:05. Sometimes we'd stay out longer if we needed to shoot other stuff, but the sun rising or whatever else we needed to do. There was a lot of that. If you're truly interested in making a horror movie, look in your local groups. Look on, I don't know, Reddit or wherever you find locals information. See if there's a movie set you can get on around you. I'm sure there is. You just need to go look. Go be a PA. Just tell them you want to move cars or like get coffee or like clean up blood like I did. Just go get your hands dirty. I mean, I had, because we were cleaning up blood, and the way you make blood, with what you make blood with, it's really like sticky. So I would go and we'd shoot a scene. My hands up to like my forearm would be covered in fake blood because of that. I'd have to like stick my hand in something or stick my hand around something, and it'd be completely just covered in blood. And like that was just worth it for me, and I thought that was just really entertaining. So thank you for just thank you for letting me have a little break in the channel here, so that I could first off take a break from this so I can get mentally prepared to go work on a movie, and then go work on a movie and come back and give me a little break so I can also get ready to do this and a bunch of other shit that I'm excited for. Oh my god, I'm excited for every project I have. I'm so excited. You guys are not even like prepared. Just thank you for everything. So I think I'm going to end this podcast here. Just for now, I may do a part 2 to this in a little bit. Once more information, I know exactly what I can talk about and what I can't talk about. Also, just once we get closer to just seeing what happens with this movie and what we've shown and what's going on with all of that. So thank you for watching this. And again, if you are somehow listening to this and you met me, thank you for meeting me. And thank you for, helping me start a future career in movie making. I really appreciated just everything. Just everybody was so nice and kind, and I don't have a beef with anybody there. Like I don't dislike anybody. I don't. Everybody there is in my high spirits, and so I greatly appreciate just how all of that went. So thank you for listening. If you're listening on your favorite podcast apps, please go rate me whatever stars you want. If you want to rate me 5 stars, do that. If you don't worry about it. It's totally cool with me. But I just appreciate you for listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for finding me on YouTube somehow and subscribing if you're subscribed and subscribing if you're not subscribed. Well, thank you for that. Follow me on Twitter @slashshithorror. I have a Discord. It's not used much, but you can follow me on Discord if you want. I do have some plans for future Discord stuff that I think is kind of cool, but that will be announced as we go along. But for now, that's probably the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening. One more thing, I will be having more podcast episodes out soon. Just more regular podcast episodes, but I wanted to make this podcast episode kind of just talking about everything that I did and making a part 2 eventually about what I did even more. Well, we'll see about that. Next podcast episode, I do not know what it'll be about. I have a little idea that I just popped in my head, but I will be talking about that, well, in the next podcast episode, and you'll see what that is. Thank you. If you enjoy this podcast, please let me know on Twitter, because I love making these podcast episodes, and I want to know how much you guys like them. If you like me to kind of just talking to you, that's part of my favorite part about this, is I never really got people who like horror movies as much as I do. I don't really have that experience. Or like, I don't know how to put that. Like, I have people around me that do like horror movies, but I think, like, I didn't get the experience a lot, especially growing up. I didn't get that experience I have now because I've met more people, but just there's something so, like, I never got that, and being able to try to get that feeling of, like, where, like, I'm talking to you as a friend, and, like, I know you, and we're, like, talking about stuff. That is so cool to me that I'm able to do that for somebody that was in my position. And if that's you out there and you're listening to this, if that's in like 5 years from now or the day it comes out, keep loving horror movies. They get you through a lot of shit. Maybe that was just me. I don't know. But I've met some incredible people through the horror movie community. And most people I've met are incredibly nice. Like, I have not met a actual jerk who loves horror movies. Like, I have still yet to meet somebody that I dislike everything about them that likes horror movies. Well, yeah, that is it. Stay around. We'll wait for podcast part 2, which I probably will do that. More podcast episodes coming out about horror movies. I'm actually going to tell you now, I think I'm going to do a horror movie podcast, or another episode of this podcast about zombies, you know, the of the Dead trilogy, Shaun of the Dead, Days Later, or Weeks Later, whichever one you want me to, I'll talk about. But just about zombies in horror movie literature and horror movies just in general. Well, yeah, thank you for listening, and like always, remember, treat every day like it's Halloween.